Hello students, today I will be showing you about the heart, surfaces, borders and how to hold it in anatomical position. So as you are seeing here, this is a heart and it is a hollow muscular organ. This part is the apex of the heart. And how do you hold it in anatomical position? The apex should be directed downwards, forwards and laterally, whereas these are the root of the great vessels. This is the ascending aorta, the arch of aorta, and this is a pulmonary trunk. So apex should be directed laterally and you should be holding using the palm of your left hand. If you turn the heart, you can see a flat surface. This is called as a diaphragmatic surface, which will be resting on the central tendon of the diaphragm. So what you have to do is, you place this flat surface on the left palm like this and with the apex directed laterally and downwards. So this would be the anatomical position of the heart. So you are supposed to hold it using your left hand and the flat surface should be resting on your palm with the apex directed laterally. Coming to the surfaces and borders of the heart, before going on to that, I will show you the vessels that are entering and leaving the heart. So if you see this specimen, this part is a right atrium and this extension or the projection of right atrium which is coming on to this is the ascending aorta, covering the ascending aorta is called as the right auricle. And you can see that the superior vena cava, this is the superior vena cava which is entering into the right atrium. Similarly, from below we have the inferior vena cava which is entering into the right atrium. This part is a right ventricle and this is a pulmonary trunk emerging from the right ventricle. This part is a left ventricle and this is the apex of the heart which is formed by the left ventricle. And ascending aorta arises from the left ventricle which continues as a arch of aorta and then the descending aorta. If I turn the heart, this chamber of the heart is called as left atrium, where you have the openings of the pulmonary veins. So these are the openings of the pulmonary veins. So we have the 4 pulmonary veins opening into the left atrium. Now we have seen the chambers of the heart. We'll discuss about the surfaces and the borders. This is a left atrium. Just like how we have right auricle, we have an extension of the right atrium anteriorly which is coming towards the pulmonary trunk which is called as left auricle. So I repeat, this chamber of the heart is a right atrium, this is a right auricle, the right ventricle, the left ventricle, and behind we have the left atrium. Now coming to the surfaces, so this surface of the heart, whatever you are seeing right now, is called as a sternocostal surface, which is facing anteriorly towards the sternum and the costal cartilages. So what are the chambers of the heart that form the sternocostal surface? So we have this anterior surface of the right atrium, the right auricle, the anterior surface of the right ventricle and the anterior surface of the left ventricle and the part of left auricle together form the sternocostal surface of the heart. So right atrium, the right ventricle, left ventricle and the left auricle together form the sternocostal surface of the heart. One more surface of the heart is a diaphragmatic surface. So this flat surface of the heart which will rest on the diaphragm will be called as a diaphragmatic surface. Now that I have turned the heart, so this is a diaphragmatic surface. So this much of it is formed by the left ventricle and part of it, that is 1/3 of the diaphragmatic surface, will be formed by the right ventricle. So the diaphragmatic surface of the heart is formed by the left ventricle and the right ventricle. Coming to the left surface of the heart. Now this surface of the heart is vaguely defined. So roughly this surface of the heart is taken as a left surface. So it is formed by the left ventricle mainly and partly by the left auricle. So this surface of the heart is called as a left surface of the heart. I have already mentioned this as a apex. Always opposite to the apex will be the base. So now this would be the base of the heart, which is formed by the 2/3 of the base is formed by the left ventricle and 1/3 of it is formed by the posterior surface of the right atrium. So the base of the heart is quadrangular. 2/3 of it is formed by the left atrium, 1/3 of it is formed by the right atrium. Always remember, this is usually a confusing point because we tend to think the diaphragmatic surface as a base, whereas base should be always opposite to the apex and this would be the base. You should never confuse the base with the diaphragmatic surface. Now coming to the borders of the heart. This will be the right border of the heart, which extends from the opening of the superior vena cava to the opening of the inferior vena cava. So this is the opening of the inferior vena cava. Right now ignore this cut that has been made to open up the right atrium, but concentrate on here. So this is the opening of the inferior vena cava. So the right border of the heart extends from the superior vena cava to the inferior vena cava and it is formed only by the right atrium. And coming to the inferior border of the heart extends from the opening of the inferior vena cava to the apex of the heart. So now this border of the heart will be the inferior border. Again, the left border of the heart is ill-defined, so we can take this as a left border of the heart, extending from the apex to the left auricle. Roughly, we can consider this as a left border of the heart. This is the upper border of the heart. Again, it is obscured by the pulmonary trunk and the ascending aorta, but it is formed by the upper border of this right atrium and the left atrium. So I repeat, this is the right border of the heart, the inferior border of the heart, the left border of the heart and the upper border of the heart. Surfaces are the sternocostal surface, what you are seeing right now, the left surface of the heart. If I turn, this is the diaphragmatic surface and this would be the base of the heart, which is opposite to the apex. Now coming to the grooves and the sulci. There are two grooves. One is atrioventricular groove. As the name suggests, it is a groove between the atrium and the ventricle. So it is a C-shaped groove. I'll just place my hand in the atrioventricular groove. Now my hand is in the atrioventricular groove. This is a atrioventricular groove. Above we are having the atria and below we have the ventricles. So this atrioventricular groove has got two parts. This will be the anterior part of the groove. Now this will be the posterior part of the groove. So anterior part of the groove again is divided into right part and a left part. So the right part will be between the right atrium and the right ventricle. That is why it is called as atrioventricular groove. And the left part of the groove will be between the left auricle and the left ventricle. So this is the left part of the groove. When you come posteriorly, this is the posterior part of the groove because it separates the right ventricle, left ventricle from the atria above. So this is the posterior part of the atrioventricular groove. So I repeat, atrioventricular groove is somewhat C-shaped. It is also called as coronary sulcus. So this part is a right part of the anterior half of the atrioventricular groove. This is a left half of the anterior part of atrioventricular groove, and this is a posterior part of atrioventricular groove. Coming to the interventricular groove, that means the groove exists between the two ventricles. You can see this is a groove which lies between the right ventricle and the left ventricle, and it is called as anterior interventricular groove. So when you come to the diaphragmatic surface, this is a left ventricle, this is a right ventricle. So this groove over here will be called as posterior interventricular groove, the groove that exists between the left ventricle and the right ventricle. Coming to the base of the heart, roughly this is a site of interatrial groove. That means the groove that exists between the left atrium and the right atrium. So this is an interatrial groove. Then you have a point in the heart called as crux of the heart, that is here. This is a crux of the heart, which is formed by the meeting point of posterior interventricular groove, interatrial groove from above, and the posterior part of the atrioventricular groove. So this meeting point of these grooves is called as crux of the heart. So this is anterior interventricular groove, this is atrioventricular groove, this is again atrioventricular groove, posterior interventricular groove, and the interatrial groove. And this is a crux of the heart. Then this is the apex of the heart formed by the left ventricle. Now near the apex of the heart, along the inferior border, there is a notch which is not very clear over here. This region is called as epiphysis chordae. Epiphysis chordae, because this is a notch in the inferior border. This is called as epiphysis chordae. And this is how you hold heart in the anatomical position, with the palm having, or the diaphragmatic surface resting on the palm, and the apex directed downwards and laterally. So this would be the anatomical position. Thank you.